Hi, this is Frank with a Frank Opinion. Today I'm presenting my last video in the six-part series, The Failure to Enact Medicare for All is a Unique American Failure. And sadly, personally, and for everybody in our country, because I've worked on this for 6 years, Medicare for All, it's never going to happen. I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Let me tick off some of the reasons why. And this is not all of the reasons, this is some of the reasons. Biden opposes it. Democratic leadership, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and their second and thirds in command, Richie Neal, head of the House Ways and Means, opposes it. The Republican Party as a whole opposes it. Not one senator is going to go for Medicare for all. The corporate control of all sectors of our economy and our society. We are no longer a democracy. We haven't been on a national level of democracy in quite some time. We are an oligarchy, controlled by corporate interest and the wealthy. There's no Senate bill. There's a House bill, but Bernie Sanders has yet to introduce, as far as I know, a Senate bill. And that speaks volumes for Bernie Sanders' leadership with regard to Medicare for all. There's no true Medicare for all movement. Even Medicare for all leaders of major organizations that are themselves composed of lots of other organizations, churches, unions, have admitted there's no national organization that binds them together. There's no collective or individual leader that has come forward and said, and with a vision, let me try to put this together on a national level. No true Medicare for all movement. We have a terribly weak and divided progressive caucus. We have an American culture that devalues facts, knowledge, and science, that devalues the rest of the world and shuns examples of best practices and solutions. We have 35 countries that have successfully mounted some type of universal healthcare system. We can copy from 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a great example in our Medicare system here. We have a country north of us, Canada, that has had it for a long time, but we don't follow anybody else's idea because of our American exceptionalism, which I'll come to. We have a culture that has embraced a religion of free enterprise, unregulated capitalism, and the pursuit of wealth, rather than one exemplified by the parable of the loaves and fishes, ironic given the degree of Christianity and Catholicism that we have in our country. We have a Republican-dominated Supreme Court. Even if there was some type of, in quotations, miracle, and there was a bill on both sides that passed, we have a Republican-controlled Supreme Court that would never let the implementation of Medicare for all happen. And the sub-courts. Donald Trump was allowed by Democrats to install an amazing number of Republican, conservative, extremist judges. There'll be a competition in terms of priorities. Climate change looms very large as one that can supplant Medicare for all, which was once the number one issue. I think climate change is probably the number one issue in people's minds, so Medicare for all recedes. And as I mentioned before, our belief in American exceptionalism and our geography separated by the rest of the world by 2 oceans. Canada is not a country to most of us, it's like a county. We have little respect for anybody south of our border, and we have a rectangular of a country which the middle of it is not exposed to the rest of the world. And that has led us into a self-imposed isolation solidified by bad faith politicians and corporate heads. You ever wonder whether these fellows in Congress, congresspeople, senators, fly to other countries, see the good life that many of those countries are exhibiting, come to know about the universal health care that is already happening, in some cases for decades in those countries, and they come back and they don't want to do it for the American people here? It's not just North Korea that's isolated. Most of our population, in terms of a lack of knowledge and information about what's happening domestically in terms of policies in the rest of the world, we just don't have it. So there's other reasons that I could note, many others actually. One of the strongest is that we're not too far away from an oligarchy that is trending towards, believe it or not, sounds extreme, a fascist autocracy. The extreme elements of the Republican Party have now control over the Republican Party. We have the slimmest of margins in the House and Senate on the Democratic side. We have midterms coming up, and if you think that both houses are going to hold, I got news for you, I don't think so. There's only one thing that I can think of that would breathe some life into this sad state of affairs. Replace your congressman or congresswoman or senator if they're not really on board with Medicare for all, if that's the issue that you want to continue to fight for. And for God's sake, boycott a corporation. Make them feel some world of hurt, because right now they're controlling everything. Corporations are controlling everything. Replace a congressman. You can actually start with mine in New York 3, Tom Suozzi. Boycott a corporation. Do something bold. Thanks.